Alright guys, it's that time. Time to put that and that. Alright, I'm going to do a little walkthrough on how to do this. First off, we have this motor mount right here. It's a 14 and a 17, 14, 17. So you need a 14 and a 17 socket, wrench, adjustable, whatever you have. And this guy, this big bolt, it's right here. Here's where the motor mounts to it. It's also the swing arm bolt. But this guy is a 22 on each end. In a perfect world, you'd have two 22 millimeters, but I don't. So we're using a 22 and an adjustable, so whatever. Then we have this motor mount down here. That's a 12, and it's just a straight through bolt with a cap nut on one end. Then, alright guys, I'm going to get you set up on the tripod and I'll get this started. Alright, so what I've done first is right over here, I'm going to put a couple jack stands. When we pull that bolt out, it doesn't, the whole rear end doesn't just drop out on us. Shake it, and it's on there. Alright, so I'm going to take this big 22 millimeter bolt out. I forgot to grab my socket or my wrench. I should be able to just take it out because it was just finger tight. Now the hard part. And I want to drive the bolt out to the other side, but you don't want to hit the threads or else you'll mushroom them, you'll never get a nut on it. So, I'm actually going to take the top spring bolt out real quick. Alright guys, I got that top shock mount out, so now the swing arm's loose. So now I'm going to go tap this bolt all the way through. I'm just using a 1/4 inch extension just so it'll fit in the hole when it gets so far. I'm hitting the rear brake bracket. Turn the bolt a little bit, it should slip right out. Alright. Take this, find the nut so I don't lose it. Alright. Grab a rag so I can wipe my hands off real quick. Next we're going to be working on the mount right below that huge bolt. This one's just a 12 mil, but I already had mine loose. And then next we have the mount right here, the frontmost mount. That's a 17 and a 14. And that's a 17, the actual bolt is a 14. Alright, now I'm going to reposition you and I'm going to lift the motor in there. Alright, now this should probably be done with 2 people, but I have me. So, just going to pick it up. That's the motor about in. I'm going to start with this frontmost mount since it's the easiest. We're going to wait to do the one all the way in the rear last because that's that one's going to suck. But grab my hammer. Okay, sorry about cutting it off. It just wasn't having that. But I got it in, and I got the nut on it. It's not tight, just in there to hold it. Next we're going to work on this one right down here. You have your wiring harness, get that out of the way. And it's basically right underneath and behind the shifter. This one sucks. I think I might end up taking this peg off, then it'll be a little easier. Alright, took the peg off. Now there's a lot more room. Now, if you're doing this, don't support your bike like this. Support it up underneath on this rear frame tube. Do as I say, not as I do. But gonna take this bolt, I'm gonna set it in the hole up here, grab the motor to get it to slip in, and there it just went. That was easy. And grab my extension so I can get a couple threads in it so it doesn't fall out. Alright, that one's in. Now the hard one. This big guy. Alright, so this big bolt, it goes through the frame right here, through the swing arm, through the rear motor mount, through the other side of the swing arm, and into the hanger on the other side. This is going to be a little bit of a juggling act, so excuse me if I fast forward this because I get frustrated or something. Right, we're through. Alright, so then, gotta find the nut. Thread it on. Get your 22 socket. And I'm going to put the adjustable wrench on the nut side. Try to rest it against the frame, and we're going to crank that bolt down. Oh, we were tightening it. I'm sure there's some factory number that this needs to be tightened to, but I don't know it. So we're going to go tight, and then maybe an eighth turn past that, quarter turn. So I'd say tight is right there, and then crank it a little bit. Or actually, go a little more right there. Gotta get your wrench out of it, is wedged into the frame. Now, just for peace of mind, I'm going to come back here and lift the rear axle by hand, make sure it moves. Yep. And we're just going to put the bolt back onto the shock. Alright guys, so I got it all together. I got the carbon airbox cover pipe, that sucked. I just have the tank just at least sitting on there, so I need to throw some gas in it. Throttle on, choke works, fuel line on. It's time to roll it out and try it. Sorry if there's any wind noise, but this is the moment of truth.